Good morning, scholars. How are you? Hope you all are fine. Students, in the last session, you have studied about computer categories. In that, you have studied different types of computers like microcomputer, mini computer, supercomputer, and mobile computers based on their size, capabilities, etc. Our today's topic is programming languages. First, I want to tell you that what is programming language. As you know, that computer understands only a language of zeros and ones. They are known as bits. And when we are giving the instructions to our computer in the forms of zeros and ones, then it is called binary language. As we understand Hindi, Punjabi, English, same way being a machine, computer can understand its own languages. They are known as computer languages or programming languages. They are designed to communicate instructions to a computer. Today, first of all, I am going to explain you about first generation programming languages. In short, they are known as 1GL. First generation programming languages uses binary codes that consist of strings of only zeros and ones to give instructions to the computer. This language is also known as machine language or low level language. First, I want to tell you that why they are known as low level language. See, the language which is near to machine, that is called machine language, and which is far from a user, a human being, that is a machine language, or it is also known as low level language. A computer directly understands machine language, but programmers find it very difficult to write programs in this language or to find errors in programs written using the machine language. Machine language programs are executed very fast and utilize very less memory. Programs written for a machine may or may not run on another machine, since the design of a computer is different for each computer. Today, first I have explained you about first generation language, in which machine language it will come. Now I am explaining you about second programming language. It is known as second generation programming language, or you can call it 2GL. Second generation programming languages use very short words for commands to give instructions to the computer, and these short words, they are called mnemonic codes. This was done to simplify the complexities of the programming. These languages are also known as low level programming languages, or you can also call it assembly languages. So in this way we have studied there are two kind of low level languages. One, it is machine language, and second, it is assembly language. Assembly language is also machine dependent. Thus, the program written for one computer may not run on another computer. Assembly language was easier than machine language, since it was comparatively easier to work with the codes. Now I am going to tell you about third generation programming languages. They are also known as 3GL. In third generation programming language, so many high level languages they were introduced, and high level languages are portable or machine independent languages. Using these languages, a program written on one computer can also be used on another computer. Since 3GLs were simple, user friendly, and machine independent, many programmers started writing programs using these languages. In other words, we can say the languages which are far from machine but near to the user, they are known as high level languages. And some examples of high level languages, they are: first is Fortran, Fortran. The full form of Fortran is formula translation. As its name suggests, it was used as a scientific language first time. Second high level language, it was Pascal. Third, C language. And basic. Basic full form is beginners all purposes symbolic instruction code. As its name suggests, it was used by the beginners for learning programming. So these are few examples of high level languages, or you can call it third generation programming languages. Next, we are going to discuss about fourth generation programming languages. They are also named as 4GLS. Fourth generation programming languages are more advanced than traditional high level programming languages because they use commands which are more like short English phrases. The programmer focuses on the complexity of the program rather than the complexity of the programming language. These programming languages are called very high level languages. Third, you have studied that 3GLs, they were called high level languages, whereas 4GLs, they are called very high level languages. They generally incorporate graphical development environments. Some examples of fourth generation programming languages are structured query language. In short, you can call it SQL. Another language is Visual Basic. In short, you can call it VB. And Java. So in this way, you have studied about four types of programming languages. First, it was first generation programming language. Second, it was second generation language. Third, it was third generation programming language. And fourth, it is fourth generation programming languages. Now, we will discuss what are the features of fourth generation programming languages. If nowadays we are using 4GLs, why we are using them? The reason behind it that they are using short English phrases. As 4GLs, they are using short English phrases. So that's why this is language commands. They are easy to understand. A user can understand these commands or instructions very easily. Second feature is highly user friendly and machine independent. The 4GLs which we are using for programming purpose, they are highly user friendly, means user can understand all the instructions very easily. Next one is highly result oriented with minimal requirement of programming skills. Nowadays we are seeing that there are so many advanced high level languages available. Those we are using for programming purpose. But some of the languages you have seen, they don't require maximum programming skills. They just require minimal requirement of programming skills. So some example further I will tell you that how many languages are there in the 4GLs. Last feature, it is developed for reducing the time and cost incurred in the development process of the software. See, the languages which we are using nowadays for programming purpose, they are reducing the time of development. Means if we want to develop any software, so they are reducing the time of development, plus they are costing us less, means they are not very expensive. Now I am telling you some examples of high level languages. They are, first is Python, second is PHP, another one is Ruby, next is Prolog. So these are few examples of 4GLM. Now we will talk about some language processes. Before I explain you that how many language processors are there, first I want to explain you that what is language processor. Suppose in your family any person don't know English and you know English very well, and if any guest has come in your home and he understands only English, he does not know Hindi. So in that case, if you are knowing English, so you can understand that particular person very well instead of your family members. So what you will do in that case? You will definitely translate the conversations into Hindi for your family members. So here now we are going to talk about language processor, which means translators. So the computer does not understand high level programming languages. This you have already learned. It understands only one language. It is called machine language, which is consist of zeros and ones. So language processors are those software programs that translate programming languages to a machine understandable form. So this is the main function of language processor. Here in this figure you can see, in this figure 1.10, functioning of a language processor, it has been shown that the programming language code, it will be sent to the language processor and it will convert that into the machine understandable code. For example, if you have written a program in high level language, first you will send it to the language processor, and then language processor, it will convert that high level language program into the machine language so that your computer can understand it properly. Now let us discuss about different types of language processors. First of all, we are going to discuss about assembler. An assembler translates a program written in assembly language into the machine language. When assembler is converting any assembly language program into the machine language, then a program written in assembly language is called source program or source code, whereas the program converted to machine language by the assembler is called the object program or object code. Next type of language processor, its name is interpreter. An interpreter translates a program one line at a time and executes the translated instruction before proceeding to the next line. Hence, it converts a high-level language program into the machine language line by line, as well as executes it. While translating the source code, the interpreter keeps checking for errors and stops if it finds one. So in this way, the conversion and execution of a program resumes only after the error is resolved. So some languages are there like LISP and BASIC. They are designed in such a way that an interpreter can only execute the programs written using these languages. As interpreter can translate a program one line at a time, so in this way interpreter, it is a slow language process. Now we are going to discuss about next type of language processor. Its name is compiler. A compiler understands the entire program written in high level language into machine language in one go. If the conversion fails due to errors present in the program, all the errors are consolidated and reported in one file. After all the errors are removed, the program can be recompiled. Some languages I am telling you which are using compilers. Some compiler based various languages like COBOL, C and C++, they are always using compilers for their execution. That's all for today, students. Hope you must have learned about these different types of computer languages. That's all for today. Thank you so much, students.